Welcome to you all. Welcome to Wheel of Wisdom. This is our Wheel of Wisdom. And this wheel contains the name of 31 books that have been randomly selected out of the many books that I've read in the past 8 years. And I have added some new books here. Some books have been recommended by my clients. So yeah, like I'm also a life coach. So recently one client recommended me this book and I really liked it. So I thought, yeah, I would add this on this wheel. And if you guys also have any book recommendation that you think, a book that really impacted your life, a book that really touched you, or a book that is filled with, wisdom that you have read, then feel free to drop in the name of that book in the comments as well. And, I will go through it. And if it aligns, then I would definitely add it to the wheel as well. Um, because it's not, about always keep on learning something new, because I believe that we already have whatever it is that we need, and we already know everything, including the ultimate truth. But sometimes when we are going through our life, which can be tough, we just need a reminder at the right time. So that's why I thought that, that's why I thought of starting the series so that we all of us, you and me and anyone who would watch this recording later can receive that message, receive that reminder at that right time, in their life. And I wanted to create the space so that you can take a pause, so that you can be open to receive that message because it is always there. The guidance is always there. We just need to sometimes pause and listen. And that's what I wanted to, um, have the space for. Okay, let's see. Um, so So before, like, I'm going to read the comments in a moment, but before we dive in, I invite you guys to take a moment and, reflect. Is there anything in your life? Is there anything specific, a specific problem, a specific area of your life regarding which you would like to receive some guidance? Or if there is nothing specific, you can simply, hold this intention in your mind that may I receive some general guidance for today. So once you have thought of something, you can let me know either by typing in the comments or you can press the heart, option somewhere here. So I know that you guys have thought of something and then we can spin the wheel. And until then, I'm going to read the comments. Gordon says, Buddhism book. Okay, any particular book that you think, that you might recommend? I already have some books related to that garden on this, wheel. Like some books by Thich Nhat Hanh, Pema Chodron, Tara Brach, like a lot of, related books here. So yeah, if you have anything in any book in particular, then you can recommend it. Amelia says, thank you, Anisha, for the lovely meditation. What came to me was that I'm safe to feel my emotions, almost like a virtual reality game. I love that. You're safe playing. The only time it becomes unsafe is when we forget it's a game and ran into a wall or something. I love that, Emilia. Oh, I so love that. So while I was guiding, I felt called to say something like that, not the game thing, which is very, very creative and innovative. But yeah, but then I kind of restrained myself. But yeah, it seemed like it wanted to come through to know that you would not be harmed by that emotion. The last affirmation that we read, that you would not be harmed by it in any manner, because sometimes we feel like, it is too much and I can't handle it. But when you realize that, when you take a step back and you realize that you're playing a game in a manner, and you would not be affected no matter what happens in that game. Then it changes things. It opens door, it brings freedom, it brings perspective. So I love the way, Amelia, that you put it. And maybe in some future meditation, I will use it if if you feel okay with it. Maybe I can create a meditation around it in some other life. So yeah, let me know if you're okay with that idea. Rachel says, evening from Perth. Hi, Rachel. Happy to have you here. Thank you for joining again. I love to see, so many of you coming back here. It means a lot. And Rachel also mentioned that getting on with it after losing my dad. Rachel, I'm sending you a lot of healing, and a warm hug. I hope that you can feel his loving presence, when you're enjoying your life and you feel that he is enjoying with you. I can't begin to imagine that loss. So I'm so very, grateful that that meditation helped you get in touch with whatever is happening in your, inner world. Emilia says, please use it. I will be honored as a ghostwriter. That is so sweet. Thank you for the permission. Yeah, okay. So, maybe let me take a screenshot and I will like wonder how to put it across. Yeah, okay, give me a second. That's why I always say, like, it's not that I am the source of wisdom in these lives or these books are. It's all of us, the space, the energy that we create together. And okay, I missed a comment. Stephen says, is it possible to see a list of the books on the wheel? Huh, okay. I don't have like a problem with that. But the whole intention behind these lives was to just, bring in that randomness, bring in that magic to, allow just one book to come to us and one piece of reading from that book. Because I can give all of the books to you, Stephen. That is not a problem. Like, I can mention the names because these are the books that are already available, these are not my books or so. So yeah, but I have realized in my own journey that I also love collecting books and everything, collecting resources. I have a lot of resources, but I've realized that we never get to them. Like if you already have a whole list of other resources, if you're like me, then you might realize that you rarely go back and go through them. And even if you do, it might seem like, okay, this is too much, or it sometimes feel overwhelming, and sometimes we just don't go back and go through them. So it is important to take things one step at a time because that's when we are able to grasp a message, grasp a wisdom, and apply it into our life. And that's when change happens. So yeah, and if you okay, so I post the name of the books that I read and the readings and everything in my group on Insight Timer. It is a public open group, and the name of that group is Wonderful Beings. So I have mentioned almost like all the books that came through. So like they are there, they are out. I'm not gatekeeping anything. So yeah, you can go to that group and see what are the name of the book. You will find all of that there as well. Okay. So I hope that that gives you whatever it is that you're looking for. Amelia says, sending you a big hug and lots of love, Rachel. Love the community, here. And yeah, everyone else also, if you feel called to, you can press the heart option somewhere here and just send love to Rachel, send healing to her, and maybe to everyone who needs it right now. send that love and healing energy amongst each other in this group, because that intention is going to impact the energetics. It is going to reach them in some way. Yeah, go ahead if you feel called to. Beautiful. Okay. And I hope, Rachel, that you can feel it, that you can feel the love that somewhere in some corner of the world is sending you. Okay, so now let's see what piece of wisdom wants to come through. Okay, initially people were hesitating, and now a lot of love is, coming up. It takes time to really feel in. I get it. Okay, thank you so much, you guys. You're so beautiful. Okay, so now moving ahead with the wheel to receive the wisdom, bring whatever it is that you need guidance on to your mind as we spin this wheel. Okay, so the name of the book that came for all of us today is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself: How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. And this book has been written by Joe Dispenza. So I hope that you guys are ready to lose your mind in a nice way. Okay, let's see what this book wants to, convey to us. Give me a second to open the book. Hmm. Okay, so usually I ask you guys to choose a number, but as I said, I have read these books over the period of 8 years. So, and this was not my plan to do this. So, I do not have some of the original books, but I have notes from these books. So, I kind of highlighted the insightful paragraphs or transformative exercises from these books. So, I have like, my notes in this manner. And what I'm going to do now is, since we don't have the page numbers for this book, we can play that game with the next one. But for right now, I am going to tune into my intuition and I will close my eyes, scroll through the pages of this book until I feel like, this is the section of this book that everyone needs to hear. This is something that wants to come through and reach every, single person in this whole circle. Okay. Um, so let's see what wants to come through. Okay, let's see what came up. Hmm. Let me find the starting of this. Mm, okay. Yeah. So the author says it's more of like an action, but yeah, let's see what wants to come through. Hold a clear intention of what you want, but leave the how details to the unpredictable quantum field. So that is like these are this is the one or two line that came up, that is highlighted, which is like hold a clear intention of what you want. So gain clarity as to what would what would make your life truly fulfilling, what is it that you really, really want? So hold that, bring clarity about that rather than just, following some standard or some route that society says is the right thing. Give me a second to drink water. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, so gain clarity about what is it that you want, because sometimes we are just following through, like, this is the right path according to society. Just do this, then, get to college, get a good job, get a house, get a, good partner, stuff like that. And we keep on following this. But everyone's path is unique, and so is what matters to everyone. What would bring them most fulfillment? What are their, core values? And based on that, what, you know, uh, would the realization of those values look like in their lives? So gain clarity about what is it that you want, or in simple words, just get specific about your goals, rather than just I want to get rich or I want a big house. um like no, so that you can have even a visual of that this is exactly what I want. And then the author says let go of the how, meaning let go of the path through which you're going to get there. Once you have visualized that, felt that how would it feel like to have that, once you have aligned your energy right now with that future that you want, let go of the path that is going to come through. Like, let go of the specifics. It doesn't mean that just sit and wish and, try to manifest something, but it means that let go of that rigidity or fixedness that this should happen and it should happen in this way only, that I want to be happy in my life, and I would be happy only when this happens. Only when I, get pass in my entrance exam, for example, or I get promoted. So you might have like certain expectations, certain fixed path to that. So let go of that and try to be more flexible and try to just see opportunities when they come, because because you might have noticed, since you might have been a human on this earth for some time, that things do not go as our plan. So whatever is happening to you, be open and see, how it might be happening for you and not to you. And I know some of the people might already know all of this, but if this came through at this moment in your life, then this is maybe a reminder to live by that, to bring that into your life, not just in this, life, but into your life, and live and try to live by that. Try to, just reflect that how does this apply to me, to my life in this moment? Because I believe that there is someone here, or, this message want to reach most of the people that are present in this space, or maybe everyone. We never know. So take and try to apply it rather than just see and okay, and you're like, okay, yeah, I know that, or this is something I learned, and then forget about it. Reflect that what it would look like if I was actually receiving this wisdom, for example, God was in front of me, or whatever you believe in, and they said this to me. I asked that, just give me something, tell me something, give me some guidance, and they told you this exact same thing. Then how would you be applying this into your life right now in this current situation? Okay. And if you feel called to share, how you're planning to apply it, or how, did it resonated with you in some manner, or whatever it is, whatever came to you, or something else that came to you when I was reading these lines, or sharing what was coming up for me when I read these lines, then you can do so in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts as well. And if not, then you can simply listen. I know some people just like to listen, or, they're doing some other work with the live as well. So, yeah, I appreciate them as much. um, hmm. So, I'm going to take a sip of water and then we will move on to the next reading. Like when I'm reflecting on this, in terms of my life, I'm just recalling that what are the things that didn't went my way, and yet it went my way in the long term, in the bird's eye view, that it allowed me to be this, to be whoever I am, to grow, to to find my calling, to do a lot of other things that I wouldn't have if I went the other way, or if things worked out the way I wanted. So, yeah, and I'm grateful for some of those things that happened on this other path that came forward. So, yeah, and if you reflect as well in your life, maybe you would also realize some things that didn't went your way, but it went someone's way. It went, I don't know, God's way. It went someone's way, maybe your soul's plan way. We never know what or whose, but but there is always some meaning, or maybe there is not, and at least we can reflect on the good things. Because it might give us, some hope to go on, especially in difficult time. Poonam says this resonates with me as I'm looking for a new job opportunity. Many people around me are suggesting me different options, but I am being with my gut feeling that it would work out for my best if I continue looking opportunities in my interest area. Oh, I love that, Poonam. And I just hope that all the wonderful things align in your life in a way that it surprises you. That, okay, what is happening? And it just gives you whatever it is that is in your highest good. Okay, so should we move on to the next reading? Let's see. And right now, it is interesting. You're welcome, Poonam. It is interesting that I am actually, I was sitting yesterday and trying to, script or just write something, pour something down about a track that that I'm thinking of creating, which is about, which is in relation to like, what if I take the wrong decision? So around that. So yeah, let's see what is going to come through. It is also relevant to me in terms of that. Ah, let's see what will come through in terms of that track. Um, and the track that I'm talking about, like, so I'm thinking of starting a series, and I did release a track from that, like the first track of that series. If you're interested, you can check this out. It is a very like small track of 4 minutes or so, and I'm trying to, yeah, I'm thinking of like creating the series where I address each of these, negative thoughts or doubts or limiting beliefs that people have, and do two things, like bring a shift by the end of this track, that they listen to, and also to help them feel not alone. Because when we have these negative thoughts, when I had these negative thoughts or limiting beliefs, apart from, whatever I needed to move forward, I also needed someone to hold me, to reassure me, to, especially in those moments when I cried myself to sleep. I needed someone to be there, you know, and I wanted to. I really, really wanted to do that for you guys, for anyone on Insight Timer, And I had been thinking about it a lot. And then, you know, like in the last week, I started finally. I started. So yeah, I'm looking forward that what is going to come out and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, if you are interested, you can check this series and you can like follow me so that you get notified about the next one because the next one is already coming on Monday, and it is about the belief. If you have this belief, like I'm too broken to heal. So if you relate to that, then keep an eye out for that track. Um, Amelia says, yes, my life's been a comedy skit full of my knowing. Then reality happens and it's much more beautiful. Yeah, it is interesting that always, like, at least, okay, most of the times, always is an exaggeration, but yeah, most of the times, um, like the good things or even the worst thing happens, and our mind is always trying to figure out, what is going to wrong, what is going to go wrong and stuff. But always the things happen are always different. Like most of the time, they're different from what our mind imagined. And our mind goes to all these extent to predict every single thing, every single scenario that might unfold. And yet, what unfolds is different from that imagination, whether it is in the positive terms or in the worst, case terms. Um, yeah, so our mind is not so powerful, eventually. There is something more, much, much more intelligent. And that intelligence is what we're tuning in. Poonam says life does surprise us in a good way when we least expect it. Exactly. Yeah. Huh. And maybe when we most need it, but we don't realize. Okay, so let's move on to the next reading for today. And guys, if you are enjoying this live so far, I would invite you guys to, you know, and if you feel called to support me to continue these lives, to keep on showing up and to create more resources so I can support, other people. And if you feel called to support me, then you can do so by making a donation. And no amount is less. Every contribution that comes through is deeply appreciated because I always see each contribution like, creating a ripple of kindness, and every single drop matters and it ripples out and touches so many more people that we never imagined. So, yeah, if you feel called to, and if you're able to, because I never want you guys to think of giving in terms of pressure at all because I don't think that benefits anyone. So if you feel called to give out of love, out of compassion, out of those emotions, out of joy, then I would be honored to receive that, gesture. And if not, then that's all right. Okay. So going back to the wheel, mm, let's see what wants to come through. So again, bring to your mind anything that you need guidance on. This is coming a lot these days. So the name of the book that came up is The Self-Acceptance Project. How to be kind and compassionate towards yourself in any situation. So, and this is not a book, it is more of a collection of chapters, and this book or collection is organized by Tami Simon. So let's see what wants to come through this beautiful book. It is interesting that it came up in the last live and in the live before that out of all the 31 books here. So yeah, there is something else that is left to come out from this book. Give me a second to choose some numbers and then we can play the game. Okay. Hmm. So before I share with you guys the numbers between which you guys have to choose, or you can choose, I want to let you know, and especially anyone who is joining us for the very first time, that I don't want you guys to rush at all because choose. I'm not going to choose the top number. That is not the criteria. Instead, I want you guys to take your time and see which number are you feeling called to, and then mention that in the comment. And then I will go through all the comments and choose a number randomly based on my intuition. Okay. So I invite you guys to choose a number between 36 to 145. Thank you, Carrie. Hi, nice to see you here as well. Thank you, Poonam, Frank, Dina, or Diane. I know you are a regular. I forgot how to pronounce your name. Diane, right? Or am I wrong? You can correct me. I'm so sorry. I'm forgetful. Gordon, thank you, Gordon, Matt. Hmm. So, okay, now we have some numbers. So let's see which number am I feeling called to. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so before I share the number, anyone joining us for the very first time, I want to let you know or remind anyone here that whoever number I choose, it doesn't matter so much. It's more of for the fun because since you're here, you were meant to receive that message that is going to come through. Okay, so just be open to that, and anyone and any place and anything can be that source of wisdom. So, the source of wisdom for us today is Carrie, and the number is 71. So, thank you, Carrie, for sharing that number. And again, it's not because she mentioned it like she is the first one, but because I was feeling called to that number. So, I just wanted to clarify that the top number is not the criteria. So, thank you, Carrie, for choosing that number. And let's see what is on page number 71. Hmm. Okay. So the author says if okay, let's see, Carrie, what is coming up. So the author says if you practice self compassion in your life, you will see it's really just a series of on the spot interventions. We can we can start with the tiny little moments throughout the day. Oh, I spilled the milk. Catch yourself before you judge yourself and say, what a klutz. Just remember, wait a minute. I spilled the milk and it's okay. Everyone spills milk sometimes. It's just spilled milk. Don't cry over. So it has to be in the moment practice in order to be effective and integrated into actual life so that it's a habit in place ready to help handle the big stuff. If you are just self compassionate on the meditation cushion and not in your daily life, it's not going to be that effective. So, taking a pause here, it reminds me of the very moment when I related to mindfulness in that manner, just like, the author talks about self compassion. So it's not about that, you practice it for a certain moment of time while you are sitting in a meditation or doing a workshop, and stuff like that. But it is only effective, it is only going to change your life and impact your life when you include it in your daily life. That's when you start to see the impact of that practice itself of the skill, whether it is mindfulness, whether it is self compassion, whether it is some other skill. And also, you would see the impact of your practice. It would give you a deeper why to, why you should sit down 10 minutes, 30 minutes a day and meditate or practice this. Because that practice is fueling, is priming your mind to be more inclined toward that skills, to be more mindful, to be more self-compassionate in your daily life. And when you start to practice it with a small step, when you make a mistake, when you deleted the wrong document, when you like spill the milk, literally, you know. So practicing these skills in those moments, would help you, would like build that muscle within you so that when that difficult situation comes, when you really, really need that skill, then it is handy. It is already in your system. It is already in your mechanism, in your brain. This has become your default go-to. And now it will come to, it would come more easily, more quickly when you are in that difficult situation, in that big, difficult, stressful situation. Uh, I always like use this example of like you cannot think or expect yourself to practice or to develop a skill or to learn something when you are in the storm, in the sea, in the storm, and you have to like learn how to run the whole boat and keep the sails up and all of that. You cannot do that while you are in the ocean and you are stuck in the storm. You need to learn that while you are near the shore, while waters are calm, so that you can take in so that it becomes natural, so that you learn that, and you build that muscle that I was talking about. And then it would come naturally. It would be easier for you to apply that when you are in the storm, in the middle of the ocean, in the, um, turbulent waters and stuff. So, yeah, so that's why the daily practice and using it in your daily life is so important in the daily task. Okay. So, yeah, there are a few comments. Let's see. And if you guys would like to learn ways in which you can do that, especially in terms of mindfulness, which goes with self compassion, then I have like a few resources for you, which I will mention here in case anyone is interested. So you can do this, you can use this very same thing with compassion if that is what you're cultivating. Because usually compassion, curiosity, beginner's mind, and all of those things go with mindfulness. Because You cannot simply be aware of what is happening, what you do wrong, what are your patterns. Otherwise, it would be frustrating unless you bring all of these different, attitudes with it. So, if you would like to learn how to deepen your meditation practice and how to apply it in your day to day life with the day to day task, then you can try this particular course. Yeah, in this, I also mentioned my own journey and how mindfulness might be able to help you with that, or compassion also goes with that. Yeah, so you can check this out. Ah, Caitlin mentioned, oh, I finished this one and it was great. Thank you, Caitlin. I am glad that you followed through. And I so appreciate, you sharing your feedback. And I hope that anyone else, who choose to take it feels the same way as you are and they benefit from it. Um, yeah. And the other one in relation, like that you can do after this is this. It would kind of change the way how you approach your daily life. It would fill it with all this love and peace and joy and a sense of wonder, like awe, when you are looking at something beautiful, like a sunset or a butterfly or something ginormous, whatever it is. So if you want to bring that same sense of those emotions or those feelings or those qualities, then you can check out this course as well. It is like the next step after the previous one. Okay. Let's see. Carrie says, wow, that was very interesting and actually speaks to me. I love that, Carrie. I'm glad that, this reading resonated with you, especially since we chose your number. And I'm hoping that it did with other people as well, whoever needed to hear that, whoever needed that reminder. Because there is nothing that you don't know. All you need is just a reminder at the right time. Carrie says, thank you for that. You're so welcome, dear. Blessings to you for your insight on this. Much love and blessings. Thank you so much for all this love, Carrie. Okay, let me check the time to see if should we do another reading or should we wrap things up. Hmm. Okay, I think we are about time for today. Maybe we can do one more reading towards the end. But for now, let me, share. Hmm. Let me do a walkthrough of like my profile to share with you what all I offer so that if it is something that you need right now, then you have that resource with you and you can actually go to some place after this live. So, give me a second. And by far, if you guys have received any value or if you have simply enjoyed the space, I would really appreciate your support if you can, and if you feel called to, through a donation of whatever amount, that feels right for you. And because every single contribution of yours allows me to do these lives, to continue them, to, create the resources, the free meditations, and some other gifts that I offer, you know, to anyone who might need them in their lowest point. So, yeah. So there's the option just so, Okay, and let me show you what else do I have. And in case you joined late, then where you can find the summary of this live and everything. Okay. And then maybe we will wrap with the reading towards the end. So, so if you're new to me, you can, follow me so that you get notified about the new tracks that are releasing. So yeah, okay, what just opened. Yeah. So you can go to my profile, which is Anisha Maheshwari, and you on the home page. So there are like different sections. So on the home page, yeah, when you scroll down, you will see like the next event, the next live event, which is day after tomorrow. Let me share here in case you would love to join that because I would absolutely love to have you there. Yeah. So you can find the events, you will find the latest tracks that got released. So as I mentioned, this was the one that got released like in the last few days, I think. And the name of this one is I Am Good Enough. And this is a short 4-minute track. So you can check this out if this is something that you are resonating with, or if this is something that, a friend of yours might be, believing in that they are not good enough. And then there are these other tracks. This one says, Dear Mouth, thank you. So this is a part of like a series which I'm doing in like to help you express gratitude or to appreciate every single part of your body and to offer love and healing to that part. So yeah, we have like all these different parts in this series, and this one got released yesterday. um Oh, Poonam says, thanks, Anisha, for this lovely session. Gotta go as it's bedtime for me. See you next time. Thank you, Poonam, for joining. I would love to have you, day after tomorrow. And I hope that you have sweet dreams and a good quality sleep. Okay. So going back to the walkthrough of my profile, yeah. So you will find like the most popular tracks here, and these are the most popular courses. So have around like 7 courses on Insight Timer. So if you are dealing with a lot of negative thoughts or limiting beliefs like I'm not good enough, I am not I'm unworthy, I am unlovable, stuff like that. Or if you don't know what your limiting belief is, maybe you are stuck, you are trying to move towards a goal, but there's some resistance towards it and you can't put a finger on it, or you keep on repeating the same patterns and stuff like that. So then in that case, you can check out these courses, to find what are the hidden beliefs that are running your life. So yeah, so these are like all the popular courses. And then you will find all the playlists. So I've tried to organize all of my content in the form of playlists so that it is easier for you guys to navigate as well. So this is the gratitude and healing for your body series that I mentioned. This is a mindfulness meditation challenge. So in relation to our reading that we did, if you would really actually like to like understand how does my meditation or mindfulness, help you in your life, like with examples and with a more clear explanation, then you can check out a particular lesson in a particular track in this playlist, and even go through like all the foundational practices of mindfulness. So this is like a challenge to bring mindfulness into your life. Yeah, so if you're a beginner, you can try that. Then there are self-soothing techniques. So basically, it involves like the coping strategies or the nervous system regulation techniques that that you can use when you're feeling dysregulated or overwhelmed by your emotions, and you cannot even think of being with your emotions that we try to do, at the start of this meditation. Then you can try any of the techniques or try all and choose one that really fits you, that really helps you feel more grounded and centered and calm, and just practice that often whenever you need it. Rachel says, thanks, Alicia. Thanks, Anisha. Lovely. Love your guidance. Good night. Thank you, Rachel, for joining. I am glad that, you are taking all these pieces of wisdom as you go to sleep. And I'm sure your mind is going to, they are going to sink into your subconscious as you sleep. And I hope to see you in the next live if that is possible for you. Okay, yeah. So going back, the other playlist is for chakra to help you, balance and heal those chakras, or, um, just feel more aligned in terms of your energetic body. So just, you can just check them out and see if anything, if, this is resonating with what you need right now. And if not, then ignore it. And the last playlist is for any other meditation that I felt called to, guide in these lives. Um, and they do not belong to any other series. So I put everything here. So it is more like, just opening that playlist and see, just putting a finger on one particular track and see, what wants to come through, just like this wheel. And finally, you will find my group here, which is Wonderful Beings. It is a public group, anyone can join. And what I do here is that after each live, so if you join this live late, then after each live, I put a summary of this live there. So I kind of like add what type of meditation that we did in that summary, the name of the books that we read, the readings that we did, because sometimes people are less of an auditory learner and they like to see things. So, yeah, I put everything there so you don't miss out on anything. So, that, this little community of mine, which is Wonderful Beings, let me type the name here. Yeah, so it is a way for me to stay connected, for you to stay connected with me, to stay updated. And yeah, and because I always like whenever a new track is released or a live is getting cancelled because of some reasons which are out of my control, I mention everything in that group. So yeah, so you don't miss out on anything. And if you don't want to, that's okay. You can simply follow me and you will get notified about, what track is going to come next or what live is coming. So, yeah, this is all about my homepage. And if you would simply like to explore all the tracks that I have, you can go to this section. You have different filters. If you would like to check out all the courses that I have, because as I mentioned, I have 7 courses, three related to negative thoughts and limiting beliefs, like overcoming them, identifying them, and four related to mindfulness, how to accept difficult life situations, how to find joy in your daily life, and how to stop chasing and start living, how to move from doing to being. So, yeah, these are all my different courses. So, if anyone feels like, yeah, this is something that I would like to explore or learn more about, you can go to this course section and check them out. Or if you felt called to, I can just share here in the comments. You can mention which one you feel called to, and you can save from here. And here you can find in the event section, you can find all my events. So my next event is here. I already put it in the comments, so you can join. And this is the final section of my profile, which is about section. So here you can read more about me because apart from being a mindfulness meditation teacher, I also have a background in psychology. I also am an aligned life coach. So currently I'm working as an aligned life coach and I basically help women who are feeling dissatisfied with their current life, who are feeling stuck in some way or overwhelmed in some way, to help them, you know, create a life that they would love waking up to, um, in a way that is aligned with their deepest desires. So, the approach that I use is PATH, PATH. So, it is something that I created based on my own journey. And now I guide women through that. So, they have a path to a deeply fulfilling life, a life that feels true to them. So, yeah, so if you would like to know more about who I work with or my background, you can read more about me here, in the About section. And if you would like to check out my other offerings, or like the gifts that I offer, the freebies and everything, then you can check out here. So, yeah, that's all the things that I have to, that I have to offer you guys until now. More things are always coming. And I so appreciate you guys, all of you who stayed and who are patiently listening to all these resources. And I hope that you did found something of value in them, something that would help you in relation to whatever is happening in your life right now. And for as we reach the end of this live, let's do one more reading and wrap this live. So, hmm, Okay. So again, bring to your mind anything that you need, more guidance on. Okay. As we spin this wheel. Okay. So the book that came up is How to Eat by Thich Nhat Hanh. So it might sound simple, and it is simple, but very impactful. So like Thich Nhat Hanh has like all the series of simple things like how to laugh, how to rest, how to walk, how to um hmm, yeah, so a lot of like different book in these series, and they always offer like simple ways to include mindfulness, simple ways to bring more, to become more alive, to feel more alive in your life. So let's see what this book wants to bring in for us today. Mm. Okay. So give me a second to choose the numbers. So I invite you guys to choose a number between 15 to 100. Thank you, Pari, for choosing a number. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Rochelle. And again, I want to remind you, anyone who joined us just now, that it doesn't matter, in terms of like if you just type faster, because I am anyway going to choose a number randomly that I feel called to. Okay. And whoever number I choose, it's going to be for all of us, not just them, because sometimes it resonates with them more, as we, saw with Carrie, but it's for all of us. And they are just another source of wisdom that wants to deliver that message, that we're really aligned with that wisdom. And yeah, the message came through for all of us because you are here. So you were meant to receive it. Thank you, Misha. Okay, so let me see which number am I feeling called to. Hmm. Thank you, Matt. Okay, so the number that I am feeling called to is 92. And the number has been chosen by Gordon for all of us. Thank you, Gordon. Okay, let's see what is on page number 92. So the heading for this is The Joy of Eating. Eating should be joyful. When I pick my food with my chopsticks, with my spoon or fork, or with my hands, I take time to look at it for a moment before I put it in my mouth. If I am really present, I will recognize the food right away, whether it is an apple, a radish, or a piece of potato. I smile to it and put it in my mouth and chew with complete awareness of what I am eating. I chew my food in such a way that life, joy, solidity, and non fear becomes possible. After eating, I feel nourished not only physically but also mentally and spiritually. So, when we are trying to be happy in our life, when we are trying to find joy, we are always like out there looking someone, looking for something to have or to achieve. And we think that we would be happy once this happens. We would feel joyful in our lives when that happens. Or we need to do more things, we need to do more adventurous stuff, travel more. Of course, if it is aligned with your values, if that brings you fulfillment, then do that. But, it's not that your life is lacking of joy. It's just that you are not aware of it, that you are lost in your mind made stories and you create a hell for yourself sometimes. So you won't access that joy or peace or beauty by doing more things or doing new things or achieving more or having more. You would do that by, you know, doing the same things that you're doing right now, but in a different manner. So it's not about doing differently, doing different things, adding more things. It's about doing the same thing that you're doing right now a little differently in a new manner. And it's not a technique to do, what the author mentions. It's not that. It's simply being or, just experiencing it. There is no method to this. It's just about, arriving here and meeting whatever is happening in in your present moment. And if it is eating food, then just meeting that single bite with awareness. And if we just, incorporate this single practice of mindfulness eating, it would it would lead to a lot many insights, and it would also resolve some issues because when we are eating with awareness, we don't overeat. If you have ever eaten a meal with full awareness, tasting every single bite of it, you would realize that you, first of all, you were aware of feeling full because usually when our mind is in our phones or TV, we are not aware of that feeling of satiation, that yes, I'm satisfied now. Our brain do not, there is all this connection between our body and our mind and our awareness. So once all of this happens, once we just become aware of what we are eating and just even taste it fully, your experience changes. And if if okay, I will give you this challenge that if you go about your day after this live, or if this is night, then yes, tomorrow, if you just take one bite or just eat one single thing with awareness while like just noticing what it looks like, slowly putting it in your mouth and just feeling the texture, and just, when you bite it, feeling the taste just burst into your mouth, it would be a next level. It would be like those movies, or those ads, those advertisements of food you might have seen, when everything slows down and you hear, like, for example, okay, so Emilia mentioned the coffee, right? So you notice the color, the beautiful color of coffee, the sounds of coffee getting poured into that cup, and it is just so beautiful. And you are like, that is not what my coffee looks like, but that is exactly what it can look like if you just pay attention to it. They're not doing anything extra, you know your experience becomes like that, your experience becomes enhanced without changing anything, and you feel more alive and more connected, and like a lot of different things happen that I cannot summarize here. But yeah, I can just invite you to give it a try. And yeah, I do believe in that. I have my life changed in a manner when I realized that. So yeah, and that's why I created that course that I mentioned before. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, this one. The art of noticing, how to find joy, peace, and beauty in your daily life, which is here, right here. You don't have to look and go and find it somewhere else. It is here, right here in your life right now. So yeah, just a challenge to have just one bite mindfully. Just eat one thing mindfully. Emilia says the first sip of my morning coffee always brings me that feeling. It touches my soul. Yeah, so it also like triggers a lot of reactions in terms of bringing energy. But yeah, if you drink that mindfully also, it would just feel different. And research has shown that if you eat mindfully, you do not overeat because you have that feeling of satiation. You do not have to fill, and do not even realize that, yeah, your stomach is already full. And you can stop when your stomach is 80% full. And you can live that way and you would feel full. It would not be like, okay, I'm hungry. You would feel full in that manner, you know. So just give it a try. It has many benefits. Gordon says, true, thank you. I will. I am glad that you took on that challenge, Gordon. Okay, guys. So I think that's it for this live. And as we wrap this live again, if you guys feel called to share, a piece of your beautiful energy with me, if you would like to support me, you can do so by making a donation of whatever amount that you feel called to and support me and help me create more resources for everyone. So thank you so much for tuning in. I absolutely loved interacting with each and every one of you. Thank you for all the beautiful hearts. They always encourage me to keep speaking. And also thank you simply for your presence. If you were just present and you decided to spend your time with me, it means a lot. I bow down to the divine within you all. Namaste. I will see you day after tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Take care. You're welcome, Matt. Namaste.